So, welcome to Clued in Mystery. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Brooke, and we both love mystery.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Sarah. It's such a special day, and this is our very first live, clearly. But it's so fun and almost a little strange to know that people are seeing us when we talk and not just hearing us.
Yeah, and we've got people joining us, which is fantastic. I kind of thought it was just going to be you and me, but it's very exciting that there are people here.
I'm so
Um,
glad. So, Sarah, you can monitor Instagram for us and tell us if we get any comments or anything.
I will, yeah. We've just had one so far that was hi, so I responded hi.
Yay.
oh, no. I'm just going to have to. Oops, that was supposed to be an exclamation point. Anyway, I have a little bit of sparkling wine to
Oh,
share with you.
you got so prepared. I'm having my favorite afternoon beverage, a caffeine-free Diet Pepsi.
Well, there you go. That works. This is actually non-alcoholic because I have to do work after this.
Your glass is much prettier than my can, Sarah.
Well, I thought, special occasion, I should use the special glasses.
Good for you. Well, this is so exciting, and if anyone listened to the episode this morning, we spent our 100th episode answering questions from some of our listeners and post guests, but there's still some left, so we can answer those now. And if anyone has a question for us that might be joining us live, they can pop that in the chat as well.
Absolutely. So, why don't I start with the first question, Brooke? And this might be putting you on the spot, and I hope you have an answer for it because I know you've had a bit of a reading slump. But do you have a favorite read of 2024 so far?
Oh, that is a great question. And I actually have my reading tracker right here open. So let me just do a little perusal so that I can remember everything that I read. There's probably a bit of a tie, but I think I would probably pick. Okay, I'm going to pick a cozy, and then I'm going to pick more like a thriller. So my favorite cozy of the year so far is Festival. Oh, geez, now I won't be able to say the title right. Um, Festivals, Funnel Cakes, and Felonies. Oh, sorry, Sally. Sally Bayless is the author of that series, and it's really, really good. So when you see this video later, we'll make sure and put that link in there from Sally. But I loved that cozy mystery. And then as far as thrillers go, I'm gonna say it's the one I'm reading right now, which is Devil's Island by. Let me see if I can find those authors as well, by Midge Raymond and John Yunker, and they are has a husband and wife co-writing team, and it's a really good thriller.
That sounds really good. I haven't read that. My favorite read so far is I gotta look it up. First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston, and that came out earlier this year. And I think I've seen it in several places on Instagram. It's one of those like it's getting a lot of attraction books, but it was very good.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen that cover. It looks great. So, Sarah, I will ask you a question from this is another one of our listener questions that was sent in, and this is a really fun one from a very fun guest we had, which was Eric Rutan. He and Andrea are the co-hosts of Hallmark Mysteries and More. And Eric wants to know, what actor would you like to portray you in your biography on BritBox?
My biography?
Oh, yeah, your own like he's asking us when our biographies come out on BritBox, who should play us? And if you don't have an idea for you, I do. So
Okay, yeah, I have no idea.
I think that now I've got to find the name. I'm terrible with names, everybody. Um, oh my gosh, I wrote it down even. Yes, Rosamund Pike. I think Rosamund Pike should play you, Sarah. And part of that
Oh,
is you both have that like really velvety voice. Like I think she could even do the Sarah voice.
That's interesting. She's not my favorite actress.
She's not? Oh, darn.
What about for you? Do you have someone in mind for you?
Um, I don't know actually. It's really hard to pick somebody, but it has to be someone obviously through this live you're seeing. Like she's a little ditzy. She's a little, like so maybe like Jenna Fisher from The Office.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that for
Little
you.
nerdy, a little, a little ditzy.
I like that. That's a great question. And yeah, we've got a few people who've joined us, Brooke. Nobody's popped any new questions into the comments, but they certainly are welcome to do that, and we'll answer them. So I've got another question for you, and it's more about the future of the podcast. What would you like to see us do in the future?
Yeah, that's something that's kind of been on our minds. When you reach a milestone, you start thinking about the past and a little bit about the future. And um, I I kind of have a couple things. One thing is that I would like to see us really think about some of our wish list guests because we've had amazing guests. Every single one of them has been such a thrill to have on, and it's an honor to have them. But there are some like people we would dream about talking to about mysteries, and I think we should kind of go for it and maybe ask some of those wish list people. And the other thing is, I would really like to see us grow our community a little more, as far as because we talk to our listeners, but it'll be really fun to have more of a conversation. And I think our subscription program is where we really have hopes of doing that. So I'd like to see us grow that. What about you?
Yeah, I think I agree. I would love to see some of our um, dream authors join us for a conversation. I think it would be so much fun. And I think we just need to build up the courage to actually send some emails.
Yep.
So we've got a question actually from Elren Burke, who joined us for one of our episodes a couple of seasons ago. And she's asking who's on the top of our list of dream guests.
Mm.
And I would say for me, Anthony Horowitz.
He is. He's your dream guest.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. For me, I would say it would just be like so amazing to talk to Ruth Ware. I think I love all of her books. And yeah, it would be such a pleasure to speak to her.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I would love to build our community a little bit more. I think that would be fabulous. And we've got some ideas for how we can do that within the subscription.
Yeah, definitely.
We have another question that came in through the comments, Brooke, and that is, can you suggest some little known classic mysteries?
Okay. Okay. Little known. Okay, I can think of one. I will have to admit that I have not read this, but I know you have, Sarah. And it is probably a little known fact that Winnie, Winnie the Pooh author A.A. Milne wrote, is it The Red House Mystery? Is that the
Yeah,
right?
the Red House Mysteries. Yeah.
And I know you read it and said that you really enjoyed it, Sarah. And I just think that that's such it's one of those things that I think people don't realize, that a lot of authors from that era were writing mysteries, even if it wasn't their mainstay genre.
Yeah, and that was the first one that popped into my mind as well, was the Red House Mysteries by A.M. Milne. And I have to think about some others. I mean, that's one of the fun things, I think, doing the podcast, is getting to know some of these other authors that we might not have come across otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that I look forward to doing, certainly to doing more of in the future, is getting to know some of those other authors. And someone's popped into the comments, an underrated author, Catherine Aird, Aird. And I haven't come across that name before, but we can definitely look into that author.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happens, isn't it? We open this Pandora's box and we love it when we hear a comment on Instagram or somebody reaches out to us an email and has listened to an episode and then says, "Hey, this is somebody that you didn't mention, but also writes in that subgenre or whatever." And we just learn all the time. So it's been fun.
Sorry, I'm just responding to one of the chats. Uh,
Great.
okay, so I don't see any other questions in the chat. Just a couple of yeah, go for it. Ask your dream authors for or dream guests to join
Okay.
you. So we'll see.
Super. Well, Mystery Mannon, who has been on the show several times and is somebody who we consider a friend, has another question that we could answer, which is, what is the most surprising mystery fact you've learned so far?
That is a great question. I've loved learning about all of the like true crime fanaticism that mystery authors have had, and especially around Agatha Christie's disappearance and the fact that Dorothy L. Sayers got involved and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I think that is really cool to like a side gig that they have.
Yeah, we like to think that the true crime obsession is something contemporary, but it's actually been going on for years. And that was a new fact for me as well. Um, Also, I think one of my favorite facts that we learned also revolves around Agatha, which was we learned about her, I think it was five, maybe a group of like five imaginary friends that
Yeah,
she like carried on for ages. And even as an adult, would sometimes see like say a dress in a window and think, oh, that would be perfect for so and so. Like she really im- made them real to herself. And I loved learning that. I too had imaginary friends when I was a little girl.
yeah. Okay. So, just thinking a little bit more about Agatha Christie, Brooke, who is your favorite Christie character? Because I know we've done some deep dives into many of her sleuths. We still have Poirot to do, but who is your favorite?
Well, I think I would go with one of her lesser known sleuths. And, we covered most of them, at least the ones that have multiple stories or novels. And, but we have not covered this character, and I'm anxious to do so, which is Ariadne Oliver. I love her so much. And actually, just today, there was a really great quote online from Ariadne Oliver. Right from our friends from Peschel Press, and I just always love like the way she looks at things. I love the thing about she only eats apples until supper time or whatever, and I look forward to doing a deeper dive on her. What about you, Sarah? Who's your favorite Christie character?
Um, I too have liked learning about the lesser known sleuths and reading the books that they're in. I haven't read all of the Superintendent Battle ones yet, but I did like the ones of his or that he appears in that we've read. And then also, I liked Parker Pine and his kind of like not quite mysteries, but solving problems for people, and I just love the range that Agatha Christie had.
I agree. I liked both of those too. I remember doing that episode, and you especially really liked the Parker Pine stories.
And we've had a comment pop in, and Miss Marple is the favorite of one of the people who's in the chat.
She can't be beat. And I, shared when we did that episode that I hadn't read a whole lot. I'd watched them on TV, but I hadn't read a whole lot, and I enjoyed them very much. let's see if I have another question from our listeners. Let's see. So, Elren Burke asks us, what do you think draws people to the mystery genre?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I can certainly say for me, it's just that the puzzle, the little bit of escape. And I know you get that kind of in any book that you're reading, but it's the um, challenge of trying to figure out where things are going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, just, I mean, I've always loved reading and just spending time in another world. So to do that and to solve a puzzle or to solve uh, a, a crime, it's a safe way to experience other. Oh, I don't know. I'm saying this terribly. If we were recording this, Brooke, I would restart.
No, I totally understand what you're getting at. And that's kind of what I think too. I think it's like everything that any other genre gives, but then you get like this extra thing. Like you said, that's the puzzle or the challenge to solve it along the way. So I don't know. It's hard for me to describe it because it's been something that I've read forever. It's like sometimes it's hard to encapsulate that when it's something that's always been in your life.
So, Brooke, we've had another question come in through the chat, and that is, are there any film or TV adaptations that match or exceed the novel?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have both expressed that we've gotten better about accepting when a film or a TV adaptation isn't identical to the story. And we discussed some of the reasons why that happens in different episodes. But let's see, it's really hard for me to think of a specific example. Can you think of one, Sarah? Oh,
Yeah, I think so. I've been watching the Slow Horses series. It's on Apple TV, Apple Plus. And they've done 3 seasons of it. And the seasons have matched the first 3 books of McHarren's series, Slow Horses. And I watched it before I started reading the books. And I have loved reading the books in this order, like after having seen the screen adaptations. I think they cast that show perfectly, absolutely perfectly.
wow.
And I would recommend either the books or the series to anybody who is interested in watching. I think it's probably the best crime series that's on TV. It's spy,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think it's fantastic, and the books are equally good.
That's amazing. What production or streaming company does that one?
Apple Plus.
Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Apple has some great mystery. If you're interested in mystery series, I think you got to look at Apple because they've just really been doing a good job with that lineup.
Yeah. And so the person who asked that question popped in with the Christie 1945 adaptation of And Then There Were None is excellent. And I haven't seen that, so I'll have to check that out.
I haven't seen that one either. Netflix does have one that's more contemporary. I can't say, it's probably a few years old, and it's not bad, but I love old movies, so I would definitely want to check that one out.
Okay. Do you have any more questions, Brooke, on your list?
I think I've covered all of them from our guests over here. Yes.
Yeah, I think I've covered all of the ones that came to me, but here's one that's popped in. If you could only, and this is from Elren Burke, if you could only read one mystery for the rest of your life, what would it be? One that you could read over and over and over. And that is an excellent question and very similar to an episode idea that I have for an upcoming season. And so, yeah, do you have an answer, Brooke?
That's so hard, isn't it? Um, you know, uh, if I could say a series, because I think I answered this one time on a like an interview or something, and it was the question was like if you could just take, you know, one author's books to a desert island, who would you take? And so if I could give myself a little bit of liberty, Al, and say like a series, I would say Sue Grafton's alphabet series. I think I could read A to Z, well, A to Y, over and over and enjoy it many times because I have. I think I've read that series maybe 3 times.
And I haven't read all of the books in that series, but I have enjoyed the ones that I've read. For me, I think, I mean, when I first listened to the first book by Richard Osman, The Thursday Murder Club, I, as soon as I finished it, listened to it again because I thought it was so good. And there's a couple of books that I've done that with, a couple in that series, and one that I read just recently or listened to just recently. And to me, that's a signal that that's a book that I would want to read again and again and again. Um, but that's a really hard question to answer.
It is. It is. Probably a close second. If I had to just pick one book, and then There Were None is really hard to beat. Uh, because I think you could read that book multiple times and find little clues and little hints all along the way that you've missed. So I think that one could be interesting to read multiple times.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe Roger Ackroyd as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Dissect that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions, Brooke. And I don't know about you, but it is hot here in Vancouver, and it's really hot in the room that I'm in. I don't know if it looks like I'm melting. It
I was
feels
going
like
to
I
ask the
am.
same thing. Does it look like I'm glistening? It's just sweat. Well, this has been so much fun, though, Sarah. And we want to thank all of the people who have listened to the podcast over these 100 episodes. And I think that every time Sarah and I talk, we think of more topics. And I don't know about you, Sarah, but I feel like there's at least another 100 in us. So I think this show is destined for many more seasons.
I hope so. And yeah, it is so fun to do and so fun. This was actually really fun, more fun than I was expecting it to be. So maybe we'll do this again, Brooke.
Yeah, we didn't get scared off from it. We'll try it again.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should sign off the way we usually sign off. No,
Sure.
you do it. You do the sign off.
Okay, so for today, thank you for joining us on Clued in Mystery. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Sarah, and we both love mystery. Okay, so now what do I do? I think I end the live video. Do I? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to end it now. Bye.
Bye.